Hello everybody and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation. Today we're looking at menstrual cup sizing recommendations and why they can be quite frustrating to interpret. Most often menstrual cups are offered in 3 sizes: teen, size 1 A or small, and size 2 or B or large. Some companies offer these options in high and low cervix options, but there is no standardization. The lack of standardization is essentially where the frustration comes in, as there is not only a standard for what these sizes are called. For example, it could be called size 1 or size A or size small. And these can also range from, like, say 32 mils to 45 mils for a small, or it could actually range from all the large sizes. So the rubbish dump truck is going past and it is extremely loud, but we will continue. And the large sizes can kind of range from 35 mils to 55 mils. In addition, these rim diameters can vary widely along with the lip shape and firmness. So you can have one company's small equating to another company's large, or vice versa. You can have a small in one company that equates to, you can have a large in one company that equates to the small cervix option, or you can have, there's just so many comparative nightmares that happen within this because there's not a standardization. With tampons, they are usually regulated in Australia by the Therapeutic Goods Administration, or TGA, and in the USA by the FDA. And so they have literal definitions for what a mini, regular and a super or maxi actually look like. So when you go and buy one of these from separate companies, they'll generally fall within, or no, they won't generally, they will fall within the regulated size compatibility, whereas there's no such regulation with menstrual cups to say that small is this, regular is this, and super is this. And I mean, this, like the Super Jenny's large, is, I think it's a Super Jenny, I think there's another one that may be bigger, is exceptionally large. And so this is very, very useful for people with heavy flow. But if you've picked a Super Jenny and you're getting the large and it's unexpectedly large, it's not really gonna work out so well, because you thought, oh, but I fall into the, you know, large size category, the B size category, or the size 2 cup category, and so that's what you've purchased. But it's so much larger than, say, a large cup that's in another company. So I mean, the ones I have in front of us are, this one here is a high cervix cup, this one here is a size 2 cup, and this one here is a size 2 cup, and you can see the size variance in all 3 of them. The issues that this creates is that the over 30 childbirth or the under 30 childless is not the best guideline when selecting a size, and is quite arbitrary at worst. Far more significant when choosing a cup is knowing your cervix height, whether low, medium or high, and using that knowledge to pick an appropriately size of length cup. Measure your cervix by always having clean hands and inserting a finger. You can measure the exact length by removing your finger and measuring where the line is. Or, like, you know, you can say, oh, I can feel it. You can indicate on your finger where that was and then measure how long that is. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be the easiest thing, but you can also go see your OB/GYN as well, if that would help you out. And essentially using the height knowledge to pick an appropriately sized length of cup. Measure your cervix by always having clean hands. Always, always, always. I just always have to repeat that because it's insane that people don't clean their hands as much as they should. If you can feel your cervix at all, kind of feels like the tip of your nose. If you cannot feel that at all, you have a high cervix and you can kind of wear most length of cups. The other options to consider are your pelvic floor muscles and or strength. If you are a super Kegel queen and you know your pelvic floor is strong, generally that means you might prefer a smaller cup or have more use with a smaller cup. If you do not have the strongest pelvic floor muscles, then you generally size up with the cups. This is the genre of childbirth issues, or the childbirth that comes, this kind of falls into this category. And in a totally non-judgmental way, the reason this size recommendation is a thing is because your body spends pregnancy prepping for labor, and please understand that, again, this is not in any way shaming anybody, because your body, you know, returns to a relatively normal state, and it's not about being loose or anything as ridiculously sexist as that. However, it is related to the strength of your pelvic floor, which is influenced by childbirth. It doesn't necessarily have to be negatively influenced by childbirth, and you can still have a strong pelvic floor. However, again, related to the strength of your pelvic floor, which pregnancy and vaginal childbirth can influence. The next consideration is the heaviness of your flow in relation to the capacity of the cup. The more you bleed, the higher capacity you will need, or you will need to change more often. So these are three things that you'd need to consider. If you have a light flow yet a high cervix, you may be wary of a shorter or smaller cup, as they do, because generally the size of the cups also influences how long they are. So, and there can quite often be a substantial size difference. I know with the Yuhi cup, the size difference between size 1 and size 2 is massive. So size 1 is like half the size of size 2, whereas some cups there's a marginal difference. You know, you can have size 1 and size 2, if you put them next to each other, you'd barely be able to tell the difference. Again, this is just a lack of regulation in what the sizes can be called. So the size A tends to maybe be on the smaller, obviously smaller than size 2. So if you have a light flow and you've purchased a smaller cup, the cup may actually, you know, go a bit higher than you plan to do. They do have a tendency to go quite high, and you may need to do a little bit of fishing around to get it out. It's just an idea that to have. This is actually quite a low capacity cup. This is the Juju High Cervix cup. This is actually a super firm cup too. So this one I can't wear on a heavy day. It doesn't have the capacity for me on a heavy day, but it's actually quite good for my light days because it sits adequately enough, low enough for me to actually be able to get out. So I do actually have a review of this Juju cup here. If you are interested, I will link it up in this left-hand corner for you to see. It is important to understand that choosing a menstrual cup is not as simple as pre or post pregnancy. There are several factors, as outlined in this video, that are more of a priority to be considered as a whole or together than just pre or post pregnancy. And really, selling a cup on pre or post pregnancy is just doing a disservice to new people that have come to the menstrual cup community, or people who might not know how many brands or how they differ, you know, and they might buy a cup that isn't suitable for them because they haven't considered all the things that they need to consider, and therefore they might go, oh, menstrual cups are not for me, I don't like them, and might return to tampons because the information that they have been provided pre or post pregnancy isn't necessarily the best way, or isn't just flat out isn't the best way to actually pick a menstrual cup. I have noticed that several companies have been indicating cup size by light flow or heavy flow. So they'll go size A, light flow, size B, heavy flow, which is a significant step forward in actually kind of providing that little bit more information. However, this also neglects cervix height and pelvic floor strength. So as you can see, the neglect of any of these three considerations can or could lead you to making a choice of menstrual cup that may not normally be right for you. and this could lead you to disliking menstrual cups, when in reality it was just, you were just unable to utilize all the information to pick the right menstrual cup for your body's requirements. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the day, and I of course will catch up with you all in the next video. Bye everyone.